Hi, this is Kenneth Jasuria from Porsche Center Calgary. Right here I have Derek Rush, our parts manager. The reason why we're here is actually to show you a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes on, installing some of these parts and kind of what we get to see as being some of the goodies when we're actually putting these cars together. The reason why we're doing this video actually is for our Restoration Challenge vehicle. And this is for the 1997 Porsche C4S that we're doing. And you can follow that along with some of our YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram posts that we have. And with that, you can kind of see the start and the progress where we're at right now. Some of you that have been following, you'll notice that we're at the body shop phase. We're kind of getting the car back together. But a lot of people don't get to see the behind the scenes of what we get to see as for some of the pallet stuff, as for parts and items that come into us. A big part of why we love Porsche and why we have these cars on the road is that Porsche still makes parts and have that stuff available to us. But and we have, 70% of our vehicles still on the road to this date, based on the fact that Porsche still follows behind that. Derek, what are your thoughts on actually having these kind of components still available?
It's really cool. The fact that we have the ability to order stuff all the way back to the 60s, 70s, early 80s, Porsche really prides itself on being able to keep these kind of items in stock, readily available, so that we can get your Porsche back to those factory specs. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at some of these items that we ordered and just show you the care and the attention of what we can get for your car to make it possible to bring it back to factory spec. So Ken, what do we got here first?
We have kind of a good one. It's actually the front brake rotor and caliper off of that 993 C4S. The reason why we're actually changing some of these components is the condition that they are. We're going into a restoration challenge, and also with the caliper, with the age, the paint started to chip and flake, and knowing that we have this stuff available through Porsche, Derek's able to get it for us. The client wanted to go down that road, so we'll show you what we're going to see. And this is kind of the first time that I get to kind of see the goodies here that's going on in the car, so enjoy with us. So we have a right rotor here. As you can see, it's all packaged up. Split this open here. So now already I can see the difference between a Porsche product and some of the aftermarket that we have here. As you can see, this coating itself, most of the time it's a zinc plating or a zinc coating that they'll actually use for a paint, and then they'll actually have this portion where the brake actual pad kind of connects that it's going to be unpainted. But with this portion here, nothing touches that, right? So you're going to have rust or any kind of issue if that's not painted or dressed. But you can see with a Porsche product that part's dressed. You're not going to have rust or corrosion when you look in between the spokes of the wheel. Nicely labeled, right. That's beauty.
Can't mess that up.
Can't mess that up.
Yeah. And the other nice thing I like about it is the cross hatching on it.
Yeah.
So that when you put new set of brake pads on this, it's going to bed in really nice. That's the way it's done. It's not going to cause you squealing, anything like that. It's going to set up really nice the first time you use it. And
the luscious thing there is made in Germany. And this is kind of, the rotor's one thing, but this is kind of what I've been waiting for. Uh-oh. Wow.
Is that the wrong rotor?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be red?
It's supposed to be red.
All right, so blooper reel time. This is quite funny, and it basically shows the challenge that we have as parts people trying to order the proper parts. What has happened is this car is very unique in the fact that it's a 4S, but it has turbo brakes on it. So when you look up the parts on the what's called our pet catalog, it tells us it has silver calipers. So we ordered silver calipers, but the car has turbo brakes on it, which are the red colored calipers. So these are the challenges that we have every day with a Porsche, and we'll show you that People make mistakes. Sometimes things don't work out that right. But the nice thing is that Porsche has the red ones readily available in Ontario, California, where our warehouse is. So they will be here in 5 days before the car's even back from paint to put them on the car. So what we'll do is we'll show off this nice silver one, because this is the one that comes on the 4s and the 4Ss anyway. And go ahead, Ken, talk about it.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, when I was going to pull it, I was going to say the big reds, because this is kind of what we've, I guess, back in the day with air cools and everything like that are used to, is that a lot of people would take 993 turbo brakes and then actually modify brackets, whatever it may be, and then bolt them onto their early cars, because these were actually quite a brake caliper for its day. A 4-pot, a single caliper. It's just something that's you don't see too often. Very easy to load for pads for when you're at the track, that kind of thing. And Porsche is just great for all those componentries. But yeah, these are built really well. These are a Brembo product. And as you can see, for a Porsche product that works with Brembo, the paint finish, everything's just gorgeous. Another very, very important thing that I like, and I actually was a big reason why the client wanted to go down this road, was that instead of getting it refinished and rebuilt, which everything is available, like the seals and everything for it, this actual Porsche logo and writing is actually under the actual finish, the clear on it. So it actually, there's no, if you run your finger on it, you actually don't feel any of the actual Porsche lettering that's over the actual paint, where you would see what sometimes people refinish these and they may get the color quite right, but they won't get that because they'll actually put the emblem over it, or it just won't look the same. So this is just a really, really great product, especially in a restoration vehicle where we want to have it on point as if the day that it was born kind of thing. But in this case, it would probably be better in red, but we'll work with that and get that sorted, but go from there. So.
All right.
So, Derek, what do we have next in line for our parts here?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show off one of the items that we can get from Porsche that basically brings this car into the 21st century. Basically what it is the Porsche Classic Radio. It's specifically made for the classic cars. It has a classic look to it. It's not the whiz-bang, lights, bells, whistles, that sort of thing that you see in a lot of the aftermarket stereos. It has the Porsche labeling on it, but yet all the internals, all the electronics are the latest versions. So we'll open this up and show it off. The really neat thing about this is it comes with the connectors that you need to hook it up to the factory wiring harness. Now this is very important because you want your car to maintain those factory wiring harnesses. You don't want them cut up. You don't want a bunch of splice connectors. That's where you're going to cause problems. What this does is it takes all of the existing pins that are already in the vehicle, you unplug them from the factory deck, you plug them straight in here, uses all the factory wiring, everything works as it should from the factory. Nice and subtle. It comes with full Bluetooth capability. So answering your phone, speaking through it, hands-free, it's all there. It comes with navigation in it as well. So you're updated to the new navigation. Basically a really nice addition to your classic car that brings it into the 21st century and doesn't take away from the heritage of the car.
And this is the factory single DIN sizing and everything like that, so it just goes in the same slot. So keeping that original, not cutting the dash. We've seen a lot of bad moves in the past kind of thing with the aftermarket and people doing kind of mods to try to make things like this fit, but this looks gorgeous. In this case, the client had I guess the original car would have had a tape player, and the cubby would have had tape spots in it. We're able to actually, retrofit having this in there, that classic unit in there. And then as well, through the parts catalog, we could actually, instead of having that tape slot in the center console, we'll actually have just a regular cubby.
Dish. Yeah.
Exactly, so that the client can put change or something like that. Restoration, working with Porsche parts, but changing just slight things just to make it an actual usable vehicle, because I don't know too many people that have tapes right now that are using them on a daily basis.
I don't see them too often. No,
yeah, exactly. Okay. So
great.
We'll go from there.
Awesome. All right, so Ken, I think you've got something else to show us.
Yeah, I'll go grab it.
Great. All right, Ken, that looks like a big box.
Yeah, what do you think that's in here?
Drive shaft.
Sure.
You're really strong.
Yeah, I'm very strong and I can lift it pretty good. But this is actually a component that people probably don't realize that Porsche actually carries, and it actually kind of goes with a lot of our vehicles and kind of through all the air-cooled lineup. But basically, it's a door card or door pocket for our 993. Let me get this open here. As you can see, it's packaged quite well just to make sure that nothing happens to it.
All these parts actually travel from Germany. When we order these things on a stock order, they're actually shipped on a boat, and it takes 3 weeks to get here. A lot of people don't realize that. So they have to package them quite nicely, and they have to put a lot of extra packaging in to make sure that it arrives here in great condition.
And through op codes and everything like that, it has to have the proper trim, colors, and everything that go with it too. So we had to make sure that everything was set up so that this would be just as if it was brand new.
Let's see here. There we go.
And for our 993 clients, you can see that this is brand new. You can see how that's kind of coming right up just from it being packaged, but that's amazing. This door speaker grills, I'm sure people have seen these on their personal cars or at cars they've seen in the past. These getting damaged, cracked, and this is complete. All the leather trim on it, everything like that. So a big one for this is that actual 911s, even on the early ones, the 993s and earlier, I guess water, moisture, that kind of thing. Weather seals, which you do carry, which you can get. They fail, they break down, and people do replace that part, but something that does get damaged is actually a door card or a door pocket in this sense, and basically the construction of it inside just kind of weathers and gets deteriorated and breaks down, and you kind of have that door pocket, there's a lid here, and it falls in, or that kind of curves down, or this starts spreading out, or sometimes just because they've been on and off so many times that these, where the actual screw holes go, they get damaged and they just don't hold on or stay on anymore. So
yeah. You go to a classic show and you'll take a look inside a car, and the first thing you're going to see is this panel that comes down, and then this big gap here where it actually spreads out over 30 years of use.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to replace it and actually have that seam perfect, and it looks really nice, and that's the difference that makes your car look like the day it came out of the showroom.
And that was a nice, we're refreshing all the seats and everything in it, so we're having new covers and everything. That's what a lot of people focus on, but they forget about things like this, especially with the restoration car and a challenge vehicle that we're doing here. So
exactly.
Beauty.
Yeah.
So Derek, now that I have this, what do you have to show me?
I got something else here. Let me go grab it.
Cool. So what's in that?
Well, it may be the smallest thing that we're going to open today, but it might be just one of the most important things that you can do to your car to make that restoration out of this world.
I'm liking what I'm seeing here, that's for sure.
All right, so what we've got emblems. And these are the things that take all the beating, the weather, feet coming in over the door sill, that sort of a thing. These are the items that'll really make a difference when it comes time to show off that car at the Porsche Car Show. We've got items that will go into the door panel, like these three items here, which Porsche doesn't actually reproduce anymore. So what we did is we found a spot locally where we can get these reproduced. So we've got them for this car so that they look brand new. Jeez. Because you've got a brand new paint job. You've got a car that's immaculate. You do not want to have it taped around showing off these decals.
Oh, it's too often I see a cut line on there from clear to that, and it's just, it doesn't look good. Just to save that emblem or that sticker, which I understand where they're coming from, but the nice thing is Porsche does have this available.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Check out that brand new Carrera emblem on the back. These things get pitted, they get washed, they're 30 plus years old. Brand new one goes on there, looks just like new.
And if you can remember our Restoration Challenge photos from the past, you'll see what that looked like before, and I think, can't wait to have that on there.
All your warning decals, seat belt decals, they're all available. They're all Porsche parts, they're all here. We get them in 5 days, and brings your car back up to that factory spec.
Amazing.
All right, Ken, show me what's next. You got something cool.
Yep, I'll go grab it.
All right, not so big of a box this time.
So, no, it's just a little bit smaller, but I think this is one of the exciting ones for me. I was kind of hoping that this would come in, and it did, and you were able to work your magic and find it.
What I think was really cool is that you saw this on our advertising in our TV, in our parts department. It was a special put on by Porsche where they were showing off these new shocks that Porsche made to bring your car back to its factory spec.
And why I'm stoked on this actually is that it has something that I was kind of eager and really wanted for this car, and it was just to have that original look, and then for this restoration challenge to have that beauty green. So this is the German way of saying the vibration dampener. I don't know how to say that in German, but
we're not even going to try.
Yeah, exactly. You can see that it's actually a coilover, so our coil will sit here on this bottom perch, and this is fully adjustable. But this is the factory unit. This has every component on it, all the hardware. It's a Bilstein unit, and like when you actually have the track on there, it's kind of a good thing. That kind of shows you that there's care and attention, made in Germany, and basically when we saw that on that advertisement, we were stoked because for a long time they weren't producing this, right? And actually, Derek, since I'm saying that, what happens when something's not being produced? Like, say you walked into the store and you tried to actually bring, we see this sometimes with the 928s and 944 clients, even with 911s too, but they go in and come see Derek and find out that it's not available. What happens in that process there?
We actually have an option in PET, which is our catalog, and it will ask us if the part should be put back into the normal parts supply. And what will happen is we will click yes if we have somebody that's willing and able and at the front counter ready to buy that part. And what will happen is Porsche will collect that from all over the world. We have over 200 dealers in North America that are all clicking yes, 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 yes. So that must have happened to this part, that enough people clicked yes that they want it, so that now they went back to Bilstein produced it, and now we can get this. And what's really neat about this sort of a thing is people drive these cars, and they drive them for years, and they only put on a couple thousand kilometers a year, and the degradation of the shocks happens over such a long period of time, they actually don't remember what it's like to have driven the car when it was properly suspended. So you're going to put this thing in, and all of a sudden it's going to be a different car. It's going to behave better, and it's going to behave the way it was supposed to. So that's what I like about putting these into the car.
So it's a night and day feeling. It's kind of an amazing fact that we could actually get this product, and I'm stoked that we were able to have it for our Restoration Challenge vehicle. Saying that, what do we have next in line there,
Got a
Derek,
couple more products that we'll show off here, okay?
So while Derek's out grabbing his parts there, I just wanted to say one last thing about this Bilstein, shock. The main difference between this and what you would see with the aftermarket, because Bilstein's made many things for racing and whatever it may be, but they also make a lot of aftermarket products as well too for multitude of different vehicles. But with this one here, this is actually valved to a 993. This is specifically for the dynamics of that car, the weight, the transfer, and everything that goes along with it. So that's what I was stoked about, because it went from not having this available to having this available. And that video we were talking about, and that link and everything like that, we'll try to we'll add that in the comments there so that you actually can click on it and see the whole 993 shock and video and everything that goes along with it, including some of the dampening. So Derek?
All right, got a couple more items left here to look at. One for you, one for me.
Awesome.
This one here is kind of cool. Something that Porsche came out a couple of years ago. Something that we use every day here in the shop. Very important. Lifeblood of your car. This is what keeps it ticking. What Porsche went and did is, instead of using modern day oils that are used for modern day engines, air-cooleds are a different beast. They need specific additives, specific zinc, I believe, on these. So what they've done is they've created two different motor oils, a 10W60 and a 20W50. And what these do is they go into your car, they basically make it purr like a kitten. We use this on every oil change when you come in here. So very important to get these things used and put into your car when it's time to change your oil.
And you can see our 993 is just right at the bottom
right
there. But even with this, there's availability right now as it for the 928s, 944s,
Yep.
and the 924s. So the water-cooled classics, you know, feel free. You still have something that just came out, so you can get those as well too. So which is awesome.
Nice thing is this is a 5-liter container. We'll use 2 of these in most oil changes when you're getting your air-cooled 911 done. They also come in 1-liter containers. So a lot of people would like to have these in your car if you ever need a top-up, and a lot of people love having them on their desk or on their bar or their man cave just to show off this this great little picture.
That's where my change goes now.
Awesome.
But another thing about this oil as well too, the big one is because a lot of these cars sit around over the winter and that kind of thing. You know, Porsche has designed with this oil to work with the seals in the vehicle. So it's to help seal this, you know, that air-cooled engine up while it's, you know, being sat for so long over our winter duration, right? Like, you know, Calgary, we kind of unfortunately have a long sitting period as you guys are antsy to bring your cars out, but this actually helps with that. That's designed to be a very, very important part of that oil design. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got?
Well, we'll see how this. What do I have? Oh, this is a good one. So a big one. Another one too that a lot of people forget, and it's just incredible that Porsche makes these items and they're available. But you could have everything look good. You could have the freshest paint in the world, but if you don't have tips like that, you're not going to be winning any races, kind of thing. So this is kind of the important part. This is the final touch on that back bumper. You know, there's that ceramic bit that actually inlays into the bumper. We could get that, the clips that hold it in place, the beautiful bumper that's going to get refinished and repainted, but not to have that, you know, to have that tip that might have pitting, you know, that carbon look on the back, anything like that. That's, you know, there's only so much cleaning you could do when the metal actually kind of starts degrading and falling apart. And in this case, this thing's like jewelry.
Absolutely. And then just, this is what you see from the backside. Look at the side that's hidden underneath the bumper. Look at that finish.
Look at how pretty that is,
I mean, it's not like they just did the parts that you can see. Everything is done. Everything is chromed and looks absolutely amazing. You know you've got a quality piece when you see that.
And that fancy thing again, Germany. Nicely made, and like Derek says, it has to get shipped over, it has to be packaged well, and it has to be brought and checked thoroughly. The nice thing too is that you can see inside, it's black, it's inlaid black. So they've actually gone into not just picking any random, it's flat black in there, so it just looks nicely, you know, nice and tight. So when the engine is running and it's going through its phases, it's not going to change or discolor in there. It's going to look black inside. So that looks pretty. So.
We'll add some close-up pictures of these items in the video as well, just to show off this so you can really actually see it.
And then I guess another thing too is part of this restoration challenge is using Porsche Classic parts and components that we are, and as you can see, we have many of them here, and I'll try to document and have some photos of a massive, cool amount of parts that are waiting to go onto this, so that you can see at a later date. But this is Ken and Derek from Porsche Center Calgary, and we're very happy that you joined us with this unboxing.
Excellent. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.